other reward apps, here's the payout wall, you need more coins. Snacksy, here's your balance.
On January 7th, 2024, a strange video surfaced online. It's entitled Weird Minecraft Bugs, Bug Report Number 1. The clip was uploaded to a mysterious channel called The Decayed. At first, things appear normal. We're watching Minecraft gameplay of a user named SandyCarps8. He's on a multiplayer server with a friend named Cargo Ships. They discuss a recent adventure.
Did you see when that spider dropped from the ceiling and almost killed me? Lol, yeah, that was pretty funny. We didn't really get too much stuff though.
The players walk through the forest and reach their house, deciding that they need to go mining to get better equipment. In the basement, they drop off their wood in the storage room. Next, they head towards the mine. Cargo suggests going to y=11 to strip mine, and the two work together to dig their tunnel deeper. After about a minute, their progress is halted when they tunnel into lava. Sandy suggests they come back later, and they return to the house. Then something odd happens. Sandy and Cargo suddenly find themselves back in the forest. Initially, it seems like the video is looped, but Sandy's chats indicate that he has noticed it too.
What? Why am I back here?
Cargo's response is rather odd.
Lol, yeah, that was pretty funny. We didn't really get too much stuff though.
Cargo doesn't address Sandy at all. It's almost as if he's talking to someone that doesn't exist. And we realize that Cargo is repeating his messages from earlier in the video. Sandy asks if Cargo can hear him, but there's no reply. We watch as Cargo follows the same path from before, depositing his items in the chest and heading into the mine. All the while, he continues repeating the chat messages from earlier. The screen briefly goes black. Then we see Cargo mining near the bottom.
This isn't funny, Cargo. You can stop now.
Then a sudden cut. What? What happened to the mine entrance? Why is the music so weird? But things get even stranger when the video shifts perspectives to a different player. They have a dark skin and they're watching Sandy and Cargo from a hilltop. If we rewind the footage, we can see it in the second loop, observing from afar. The video ends with a final static shot of the house, deepening the mysteries even further. This video was merely the entry point into the long and winding mystery of The Decayed. But there's something else hidden in the shadows, a game with a limited bonus that you won't want to miss. They've just launched a crossover with an iconic franchise. If you download Raid with my link or the QR, it's useful everywhere. Click the link and join me in game.
Oh, we're against real people now. Great.
While the dark figure is the most mysterious difference between the two loops, it certainly isn't the only one. When Sandy and Cargo are teleported back to the forest, Sandy's hotbar changes. The stake and log swap places. Furthermore, the interior of the house is slightly different. There's no sign on the right-hand chest in the second loop. And if we look even closer, we'll find that Cargo's messages from the two loops don't align in time, even though the text is identical. We don't yet understand the reason for these discrepancies. In fact, we don't understand much at all. The following day, another video was released, titled More Weird Stuff, Bug Report Number 2. It begins with what appears to be another loop. The players find themselves back in the forest. Now, Sandy has 3 experience levels instead of 2. As Cargo starts his dialogue once more, Sandy reacts with escalating confusion. This time, he doesn't follow Cargo, choosing instead to walk in the opposite direction. After a few moments, he encounters something strange, the edge of the world. Chunks are not loading here, there's nothing more than an empty void. This is similar to the end of the first video with the unloaded chunks near the mine entrance. It's almost as if Sandy's not supposed to be here. There's another detail that's easy to miss, a dark figure in the tree. While we can't quite make out their full name, it appears to end with an R. As Sandy returns to Cargo, the Minecraft music becomes increasingly distorted. Sandy descends into the mine, but it's different this time. Instead of a cave with lava, there's a long, empty tunnel. After following it for a while, Sandy discovers a narrow side tunnel without torches. The deeper he goes, the darker it gets, accompanied by a whooshing sound that crescendos. Then we're back to the start again for the 4th loop of the series. It is now nighttime. Cargo is nowhere to be seen, and his messages are conspicuously absent from the chat. The music is scrambled, clashing with a persistent wind noise. As Sandy returns to the house, we notice a staircase of blocks on top, perhaps built by the mysterious black figure who is now standing in a lilac bush. We can just barely make out their name. It's voyeur, a French noun meaning one who sees. Inside the house, Cargo's bed and chest are missing. The basement also has a slight difference. There's no sign on the bottom left chest. Intriguingly, this is the chest that Cargo last used. We saw him open it in the second loop. It seems that connections to Cargo are disappearing one by one. Returning to the mine, Sandy becomes increasingly distressed.
Cargo, I'm going to save you, no matter what.
At the bottom, a dark fog obscures the tunnel depths. As Sandy progresses, strange black blocks appear on the edges, their density increasing the deeper Sandy goes. Then, an eerie blue message appears.
I haven't talked to him in days. He hasn't played Minecraft with me for so long. I hope everything is alright. Where is he? Where is he?
Is this Sandy speaking? That doesn't quite make sense. To this point, all of Sandy's messages have been in the main chat. Instead, we're forced to consider the possibility that this is somehow Cargo. Is Sandy missing from his perspective also? This video ends with a shot of the house, just like the first video. This time, however, the door is open. Let's take a moment and attempt to untangle what's happening here. The videos so far contain a sequence of loops. They restart when Sandy is teleported back to the forest. However, each iteration is different. Sometimes there are minor changes, like a sign being removed. Other times, the changes are major, such as the tunnel in the mine or Cargo's disappearance. It appears that Sandy is supposed to follow a specific path in the loop. When he deviates too much, the chunks are not loaded. The first loop seems to go according to plan, with no anomalies. But each subsequent loop has one crucial difference. Sandy knows that he's in a loop. We don't understand why Sandy gains this awareness, or why Cargo apparently doesn't. But we do have to wonder, was the first video we saw truly the first time this happened? Or has this loop been repeating for a long time, with the story picking up just before Sandy breaks out of the cycle? It's intriguing that, once the loop breaks, the world begins to decay. Signs disappear, dark blocks are generated, and mysterious shadow figures arrive. Somehow, the stability of this place is damaged. Breaking the loop clearly has a significance that we don't fully understand. For now, we will continue to the third video, entitled Limbo. Before we dive in, let's take a brief look at the description.
Signals. Something is not right. He reached sentience. This is not supposed to happen. This is not supposed to happen. What will I tell him?
Is this talking about Sandy? Who exactly wrote this description? The video begins with the fifth loop. The world is daytime once again, but Cargo is still missing. The blocks on top of the house are also gone. On the main floor, there's a new painting on the wall. Sandy goes to the basement, and when he returns, the picture is changed. It's difficult to tell what it depicts. Maybe flowers? We quickly find the answer. As Sandy explores away from the house, he approaches a very similar cluster of lilacs overlooking the edge of the world. Comparing the two, we can see that this is the same place as the painting. It's almost as if it's telling Sandy where to go. Sandy looks over the edge and discovers something unexpected, invisible blocks in the void. He begins walking on them, moving into the white emptiness beyond. In the distance, a dark door becomes visible.
Well, guess I don't have an option.
Sandy opens it, revealing swirling clouds within. As Sandy approaches, the wind swells. Maybe this was the source of it the whole time. The player enters the doorway. Sandy teleports to a completely different place, a realm of dark purple blocks with distant clouds. When Sandy tries to chat, he gets an error message.
Unauthorized access. Chat function disabled due to lack of developer permissions.
There's a similar warning at the top, this one instructing Sandy to restart their game. This new place has many hallways with entrances to other rooms, each labeled with a sign. Experiment, followed by a number. Sandy enters the room for experiment number 67801236. In the center of the room, there's a hole. Sandy jumps in. In the center of the room, there's a hole. Sandy jumps in. He teleports back to his world, but from a different vantage point. Now he's standing above his house on invisible blocks. Below, we witness something bizarre. Sandy and Cargo are walking around, discussing their need to go mining. This isn't a recording of the first loop because the timing is different once again. Instead, this appears to be a different loop altogether. We have no idea why there's a copy of Sandy and why Cargo is back. Sandy pushes a button in the sky and he's returned to the purple place. He goes to a different room, this one corresponding to experiment 892-30096. Jumping in the pit, he's warped to another version of his world. But this one's just a bit off. The usernames of the players are slightly different, SandyCarps26 instead of SandyCarps8. Cargo's name is also changed. Furthermore, the music has been transposed down a major second, increasing the uncanniness. The mine doesn't exist in this version, and the players talk about building a castle. Sandy comments in the chat.
Also, castle? I remember building a castle. Where's the castle? Was it never there?
Other experiments have much bigger changes than this one. Sandy returns to Limbo and warps to experiment 8389. Here, the sky is complex, infused with pulsing psychedelic patterns. The music is sweeping and full, unlike any Minecraft music we've heard before. And yet, the landscape appears to be similar in shape to the other worlds. There are once again two players below, Zyphoid and Serene Mist. This time, though, they notice Sandy.
Who in the is this guy? He's just flying above our house?
Sandy tries to respond, but again he doesn't have permission to use the chat. The players decide to leave. Sandy returns to Limbo and approaches another experiment, 1919. This one is ominously labeled Unstable. He teleports to a dark, empty world with no players in sight. When he tries to leave, the button is unresponsive. Sandy is apparently trapped. Just before the video concludes, there's another message in chat from someone named Execo4, who says,
Uh-oh.
The video ends with another static shot of the world. Come to think of it, what's the deal with each video ending with an image? The first video's image has the house. In the second, the door is open and the image is darker. Then the house is gone and the image is darker still. We don't really know what this means. The following video is called Meeting, and it starts back in the main world for the 6th loop. Somehow, Sandy managed to escape the unstable world. Sandy returns to the world edge and walks into the void, but this time the door is gone. He continues walking nonetheless, and suddenly finds himself back in experiment 8389. He reaches the mainland after a few moments. Sandy approaches Zyphoid and Serene Mist's house. Now he's able to chat. The players are bewildered as Sandy explains that he just walked away from his house and ended up here. Notably, Zyphoid and Serene Mist don't remember Sandy, even though they saw him in the air during the last video. This is interesting. It suggests that perhaps these players are also in a loop. How else would they forget an unknown player flying in their world? Sandy asks if he can stay to explore, and the players let him. They generously give him diamonds. As he wanders, Sandy sees another dark figure in a lilac bush, this one named Sightseer. The skin is slightly different from Voyeur. Back in the house, Sandy opens a chest labeled plants. Suddenly, there's a static sound and the screen goes black for a moment. When it returns, there's a slight difference. The 4 poppies in Sandy's inventory have been replaced with 4 lilac bushes. Then, out of nowhere, a message appears in chat from someone named Execo3.
Sandy, you have to stop. You have achieved something you should not have achieved.
Despite Sandy's confused responses, Execo3 continues.
I got the signals from you. You are pushing the limits.
As Sandy tries to interject, Execo3 mutes him, preventing his messages from sending. Then Exec continues.
Why are you, out of everyone, acting like this? The fact you can even talk to me right now fathoms me.
Sandy tries to ask about Cargo, but Exec responds.
Your friend is not coming back, Sandy. He never even played with you.
Then the chat shows that O3 is warped to Limbo. The video switches, and we are now viewing the world from their perspective. The skin is dark and the UI is different, with a number 3 above the hotbar. Execo3 walks through Limbo and approaches the door to the unstable dimension. They jump in. As they type, a pink cursor is visible, the same design as Sandy.
Are you sure this is safe?
Execo3 uses a command called TP down, which takes them to the surface. There we find Execo7 as well as another dark figure called Spectator.
I mean, just in case, you should lock the world. I don't want this to reach Sandy.
Exec3 says that Spectator seems to be working fine and asks how to lock the world. O7 replies with a command. The ID number is the same as the experiment number. O3 locks the world. Then he says something notable.
He somehow became a thinking mind, which is very interesting. His memories got wiped before we brought him to this world. That's very weird. Like I said, close the world just in case. This could trigger something in him if he joins.
And then suddenly, we see a message saying that an unknown exec warped to this world. Could this be Sandy? The video concludes with another static image of a house. It is returned, but it's darker than ever. But it's darker than ever. There's a lot to unpack in this video. First, we are introduced to a different group of people than the regular players. These are the execs. They have special capabilities. They can use teleportation commands and mute other players. We also learn that they're associated with the dark watching figures, including Voyeur, Sightseer, and Spectator. While we still don't know the purpose of these dark figures, the way the execs talk implies that they're not players. It would be weird to say that a person seems to be working fine. Instead, there's some sort of automation or bot. What we do know is that these execs are trying to deal with Sandy. It's clear that Sandy is doing things he's not supposed to be able to do, accessing Limbo and going to other players' worlds. Execo3 says something interesting, that Sandy somehow became a thinking mind. While the deeper implications of that statement aren't yet revealed, it must be why the execs are concerned. But what about the experiments? What is the purpose of these loops, and what are the execs trying to do? We learn a bit more in the following video called Envoyer. This is French for sender. The description contains an enigmatic series of 16 numbers. This video is taken entirely from the perspective of Execo9, who we haven't seen before. They're in some new place, dark like Limbo but made of prismarine blocks. They approach a chest labeled 9 and retrieve a book from within. As they continue down the hallway, we see several numbered rooms. Apparently, these each correspond to an exec. We see Execo2 in room 2. The player walks until they reach number 9. The block in the center appears to be a terminal. In fact, if we look at the lines as dots and dashes, it spells out decayed in Morse code. Exec9 begins typing in chat.
He's been lurking again. He was spotted in the unstable dimension. He found out about the real house. He knows too much now.
We can't see who Execo9 is talking to. Their responses are invisible. Whoever it is, Execo9 says that they may need to intervene. The execs aren't completely sure how to stop Sandy. This half of the conversation contains a little detail. 09 says that Sandy found out about something called the Real House. Whatever this is, Exec09 believes that it's too much knowledge for Sandy to have. This mystery about the Real House is something we'll want to keep in mind as we continue. The following video is titled Réalité, which is French for, you guessed it, reality. We return to Sandy's perspective. They're back in the main world for the 7th loop. This time, Sandy types the teleport command to bring him to the unstable world. How Sandy knows this command is unclear. Did he use /help, or is there something else going on? Regardless, the command works. The console message reveals that it was, in fact, Sandy who teleported in the meeting video. He arrives at the bottom of the mine and climbs the stairs. Spectator is still there, but execs 3 and 7 are gone. He enters the house to find that the basement is totally different. Instead of humble storage chests, there's a door leading to a complex network of rooms. There's a kitchen area, several bathrooms, bedrooms, and a bar. In one room, Sandy stumbles across a red chest. Opening it reveals that it has a name, Stored Vessel Information. Inside are 4 written books, labeled June, July, August, and September. These are diaries written by someone named Matthew David. The first entry is on June 2nd, 2017, and there are a total of 17 entries over the 4 months. The early text starts out normally. Matthew writes about being busy studying for a math exam, which is getting in the way of Minecraft. We learn that Matthew is 17 years old. Then something weird. There's a sudden jump from June 4th, 2017 to June 7th, 2023, a 6-year leap into the future. But Matthew talks as if he's still in the past. He mentions stressing about being prepared for his test. Mysteriously, on June 21st, we go back in time to 2017. It's not clear if Matthew made a typo or if this journal has some weird nonlinearities. Regardless, the exam goes pretty well. Matthew says that he wants to play survival multiplayer with a friend named Andrew. They decide to start up a server. That's the end of June. Sandy makes a comment.
This is way too familiar.
He then begins reading the July book. Matthew starts by lamenting about how he's been sick for a couple of days. Then there's something intriguing.
I did see a weird creature in my game today, though. Could just be me going crazy. Even though me and Andrew are big fans of creepypastas, we obviously know that those are fake and that stuff like Herobrine, Entity 404, and all that doesn't exist.
On July 4th, Matthew mentions a persistent headache that's not improving. He also added a friend named Thomas to the Minecraft server. Now, 3 of them are playing together. Then Matthew shares more about the creature he saw.
It kind of looked like a player, but it just doesn't make sense because we are hosting this on Hamachi, and I checked Hamachi a few minutes ago and there's no one other than us 3.
Yet he still doubts what he saw.
Actually, what am I even saying? No shot there's another player here.